All right. So, no happy Friday is Monday as I'm recording this, and it is about noon, well, afternoon. Um, Sorry about no video last Friday. Uh, my daughters were home for fall break, so I enjoyed some time with them. And so, let's see. So, we are looking at, well, first of all, I'm trying to do this more now. I'm Addison. I've been a web developer and designer for many years now. Have my own business going on about 20 years now, actually. And I like building stuff. And I hope that, anybody interested can benefit from these videos. And I'm also self-taught. So you may not be getting coding jargon or the right terminology, and I'm so sorry for that because you probably should be, but I try to. And yeah, so I kind of see it as we're all learning together. And, I learned with books. And back in my day, I could kind of rip stuff off of a website, view source, and get a lot of insight in how it was working, how it was built. And you can still do that to some degree now, but now we have YouTube videos and uh, uh, online courses and things like that. So anyway, we've been looking at uh, deep diving into advanced custom fields and GenerateBlocks. So we've done the initial setup in the first video and kind of a basic custom post type and a simple kind of custom field setup. Then we looked at in video 2, we did the setup of the archive template or the loop template using GeneratePress and the element portion of that specifically. So we created, so here you can see I'm under elements in GeneratePress, and we have our Ghost Gear archive template and our Ghost Gear single template. So remember, the archive template is a loop template, meaning it's using WordPress's built-in archive feature. And then we have the content template, which is the single view of the item. So right now I'm looking at the archive view, and you can even see it here, archives Ghost Gear. So this is the listing. And if I click on an individual entry, you get the single view. And you'll see some stuff added down here that I've been tinkering with. So I thought today we'd look at some of the more advanced custom fields, and we try to output the values from those. So I've set up a really super simple repeater field. And let's go take a look at that. So I've already built it, and I'm sorry for that. Maybe we'll build one more. So let's see. We have Ghost Gear data. That is my field set, and I created this item attributes. I mean, I'm trying to come up with something we can do. So what it does is it shows really simple, like, you can even see the values here. The attribute name, it's compact. And then the description, device is small enough to carry on person, effective enough to catch a large ghost. Reusable, device can be emptied and reused. So it's just an excuse to put in some data. And again, I'm keeping it kind of simple. I guess we could try to throw in an image here or something, because that does take it up a notch depending on how you have it set up to return the images. But I think I'm gonna we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's see if we can do this. Maybe there's an advanced part 2. So that'll actually be 3.2 because this is the third video. But anyway, let's get on with it. So I wrote up a little short code that would spit out this bit of information so you can see what it looks like. So we have a repeater field. So a repeater field is a custom field type in advanced custom fields. Let's see, what do they say about it? Provides a neat solution for repeating content. Think slides, team members, CTA tiles, and alike. Call to action, the CTA. And here the example they give is The Simpsons, and I love it. So yeah, so they've put in they're going advanced. So they have an image, a name, which is a simple kind of field type. Specialties, these look like relationships, which I think it falls under relationships. Taxonomies, most likely. and then website, which is a URL field. And here we can see the setup. So avatar, name, specialties, website. And how do they? No, it's just a select. Okay. So image, text, select, and URL. Okay. Well, we might can do that. Can you see that? There we go. That's much bigger. Yeah. Yeah. So mine is super simple compared to that. And let's reset that font size. So typically, the way you handle it in PHP is you check for the presence of a field value, and it's kind of like going through the loop in WordPress. Like if you were to do your own WP query, if it does detect that there is a repeater field of whatever name you specify, this have rows, that's in the row. I think those are native advanced custom fields functions. So while there are rows, do the row. So that's like the loop sort of, but the row. And it's going to repeat everything in between that while loop. Else do something or do nothing, or if anything's there. So now GenerateBlocks Pro gives us a way to tap into this without needing to code anything. And at some point, I am going to get into code, I think, in this series. I kind of want to wrap it up with that. But that's later. This is now. So let's look at, okay. So let's see what that looks like. An attribute name, which is just a text field, and then attribute description, which is a text area, which is, so it's required. It's just a larger text block for multiple rows of text. So let's go to our ghost gear, and I've only added it to ghost trap. We'll see what that looks like. So here we have it, item attributes. So the name of that is it's compact, and then we can add a brief description. And reusable, device can be reused. We can add another attribute. Let's see, attribute. Let's see. Self-charging. I don't know. I'm making stuff up. I don't know. Device charges itself when docked to master trap device for disposal. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, and the great thing about the repeater field too is that you can move stuff around. Repeater field is really powerful. You can do some cool stuff with it, and you can get creative with it. So I'm going to update that there, and let's go back over here and let's see what our output is showing us. Okay, so now we have 3 items. And remember, an array starts with 0. So we have 0, 1, and 2. And I'll post this short code. It needs some loving and some touch-ups just in case there are mistakes. So you can punch in values like, so I've named it GPC show returned meta value. So GPC is what generate press child. It's what I prefix all my stuff with. You provide the field name and whether it's ACF or not. And you can leave is ACF blank and it'll default to false. I just need to put in some conditionals in here to check for null values or things that don't exist so it doesn't throw errors and things like that. But for right now, it's serving our purpose. I'm using this nifty little PHP function called printr, and so it's going to output the value of the variable, in our case, the meta field name, or the value of the meta field that we're looking for and we're testing, so we can see what's happening under the hood. And see, what we've been doing is looking. Let's see if we can do this real quick too, because I like to see what it looks like in the database. Post meta. So this is, we can look at the source and know. So if you ever want to find out the post ID of the like if you're looking at a custom post type and the single view of that custom post type, and you need to know the ID, you can, oh, I just saw it. Where? Yeah, okay. So it's also here, post 598, and it usually shows up in the body class. Yeah, this right here, post 598. So we're going to look in post meta, and we're going to edit the query. We're not going to limit it where post ID equals, what did I say, 598? I've already forgotten. My good grief. 598. Okay. 598. And I think that's it. Okay. Okay. There we go. Well, I say that. Where? Oh, yeah. Okay. Here we go. So remember, there's the name of our customer. I forgot we went through this. We looked at the database for some of these things, and repeater fields are kind of unique in how they do this. I was thinking in my brain that it stored an array of some sort, usually a serialized array, in the post type, but it doesn't. That's not the way it works. So it takes the name of the overall repeater field. In our case, let's go back to ACF real quick and let's look at that. So ghost gear data, item attributes. So the overall field name is GG item attributes. So everything to do with that repeater field as it's attached to post 598, in our case, the ghost trap post, is going to be prefixed with this GG item attributes. GG item attributes. And then it's going to be suffixed with the array index 0, 1, and 2, which we saw down here, 0, 1, and 2. And then the name of the subfield. So in this case, attribute name and attribute description. Now you get these underscores, and that is referencing the field ID as it is present here. I think that's right. Because there's also a group ID. Yeah, that's right. So there's also a field ID, and that's just, I think that's ACF's housekeeping, because you can also code stuff into ACF itself for like outputting the actual field labels and things from the admin interface. We're not going there. Nope. So we have the attribute name from the first item in the array and the description from the first item in the array. And then we go to get item attributes 1 attribute name, get item attributes 1 attribute description, and so on and so forth. So you got it? So we're essentially needing to loop through these items and spit them out. So anyway, I thought it would be helpful to show you how ACF, so when you go fetch that field, the data for that post, for this post, for Ghost Trap, and you go fetch this item attributes field, which is a repeater field, this is what it's returning to you. And thankfully for us, GenerateBlocks is going to handle the output for us. Now, let's see. Can I go to... I forgot I have all those lovely conditions now. I really need to play with some of this stuff. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Block conditions. Oh, yeah. I've got to play with a lot too. Oh, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay. So I was... Let's see. I wanted a quick access to the news is not helpful these days. Where am I looking? Documentation. So oh, good deal. Okay. Let's look at query because we're going to do there it is, post meta query. Boom. Where's the docs for that? Where's the docs? Post meta query. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. So we may not need the docs, but I just want to have them up just in case. So let's go back to elements. Let's look at our template. Ghost gear, single template. Okay. And let's see real quick. Let's address something. Okay. So one of the complaints here is that we can't see what's happening. I might have to address that later. I still don't have a good solution for that. I was wondering if we could just plant the darn query right in here and put all this stuff inside of it. That seems like it'd be a lot of trouble and a big old mess. That's got to be something they're going to address at some point. Anyway, let's see. Where is this? That is our back. That is our short code. So we're going to leave. We're just going to put it here. So we're going to run another query. This time, okay, we want it blank. This time we're going to do, let's see, I'm going to rename it real quick because I like my housekeeping. Item attributes query. So we're going to do a post meta query. What? Okay, that is nice. If only I could do that for the overall. Okay, I'm digging that. Okay, here's where we yeah, okay. So let's add something in here. So we need a loop item. So we have loop index and loop item. So we want this loop item to be, see, it's already picking up on it. So okay, let's back up just a minute. Okay, so we have a new post meta query. Okay, this pagination stuff we don't worry about. We're going to tell you what, I'm going to put in a -1. That is going to tell it to show all. I think it does it for the posts query. I'm assuming it's the same behavior for post meta. We only have 3 items. So we've told it to look for, okay, if I do current post, we're going to lose some things. Yeah. So I've told it to look at a specific post, which I know has items in it. So it's going to recognize the field names now, which should make our life a bit easier. So we don't need offset. We're per page. -1 usually says, show me everything. And we're looking at the item attributes. That is the overall name of the field for our repeater. So now as we get in, we're going to put in a GenerateBlocks text block. It could be a heading block. We can do it. It needs to be a heading. Although it may need to be a 2. I'm getting way too caught up in this. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So now we need, you'd think another post meta, but we're within the post meta loop. So now think of it as we're within this array. Okay. So here's where we are. We're at item 0. So now we need to get the attribute name and the attribute description, because this thing is going to loop through all these. So first thing we're going to do is output the attribute name as a heading. So let's go to loop item and it's asking, okay, we're in the loop. You've picked a loop item. What key, what meta key do you want to show out of that loop? And we want to show the name. Okay. All right. So we got all names. It's showing all three. Do I have, this may not work, and forgive me, is like H3. I set up these, I can't remember if I set these up on this or not. I don't think I did. Oh, I don't think I did. Okay, never mind. That's from another video. That okay, so now we're going to set up another. I really need to be doing my keyboard shortcuts. Yeah, another text, and this can be, yeah, it can be a paragraph because it's not going to return. Since it is a text area field, it's not going to automatically have any markup associated with it. I don't think. I might have to go back and check that setting. So again, another loop item. And this time we want the description. Okay. Okay, let's see that loop item. We want a little bit of space after each one to rent. Is that fair? Okay, let's save and see how that looks. Okay. So you can see it's mimicking. So we went through the first time and it grabbed that attribute name where, the first time it goes through, it grabs 0, the first item in the array, reusable, and then the attribute description associated with the first item in the array, item 0. Device can be emptied. Yep. So let's just do a little bit of housekeeping. No, let's do RAM. And I'm going to, sorry, it's just a little OCD in me. Just to tidy this up just a teeny bit. Soften those corners just a tad. Okay, and that paragraph actually has some spacing after it. Is that right? Actually, I don't know. Maybe. Okay. So I'm not winning any design awards, but you get the idea. And it could be, no, I'm not going to go there. So that is a bit large. I don't know if I would do it exactly like that, but well, so we're in GenerateBlocks. I can change that. Let's go to typography and let's do 1.5 rim. Let's do 2.4. Let's do 1.8. And let's change that to, whoa, Commissioner. And let's make it bold. Or 700. I like to specify an exact. Okay, let's take it down another notch. Let's go to 6. That's a little better. Just a little too hefty. Yeah, whatever. So again, not winning many awards, but it was okay. So now, so that is the repeater field. Now let's say, for example, we wanted to add an image to it. Let's make it more complicated because an image is a pretty handy thing to use in a repeater. So let's go back to, where I'm looking right at it. Go back to our item attributes and let's see. Attribute name. So let's add a field. Woo. Image. Call it attribute. Whoa. Image. I shortened them. Yeah. Okay. So attr image. Okay. Now you get this kind of stuff. I want to return an array. You can choose to have it. So when you go fetch it, it's going to return a URL or it's going to return an image ID. I think, to be honest, I can't remember if GenerateBlocks overrides this or not. But anyway, I want an array because it's going to give me lots of information, including things like the alt attribute, description, caption, any of that kind of stuff. So I want all the stuff so that I can choose what to do with it. And I'm just going to leave it there at the end. Okay, let's save that. Excuse me while I get a drink of water. Okay. So I've got that. Now let's go back to Ghost Gear. Oh, one of the things we ought to look at real quick. What happens if there is nothing? Oh, sorry, forgot. You can only click the title. So a lot of UI stuff that needs to be fixed with this. Oh, I totally forgot. So under elements, remember I told it to show a specific post type, and we need to turn that off. So it is contextual. It knows like to show from the current, the current post. Okay, so all that's going to disappear. Well, some of it. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know. So let's save that. So now PKE meter should be empty. Okay, that's the remainder of that. Me trying to, yep, that's that short code. There's actually the query, which if it's empty, it will still output the wrapper div elements. And I wish it wouldn't, but that's easy to overcome, get around, whatever. Yeah. So now, okay, let's go back and we're going to see about an image within how we handle that in the repeater field, and then how we output it in GenerateBlocks. And I'm going to just add some stuff. I know it's not going to be right, but go back to, you know what? We can do this. We'll just, I know it's like, image with an image with an image. Okay. So let's update that. And it's still going to get nothing because we haven't told our template to output it yet. Sorry, inspector gets in the way. Goose trap. Look at all this now. Okay. Boy, this is handy. I'm glad I made this. And I'll do it, like I said, I'll give it a little love and put it on Gist. Or maybe I'll leave it in my child theme. It's handy, or can be. So here is image, and it itself outputs an array. And I'm kind of hoping I think it'll work. So like I said, you get a lot of stuff about that image that you can fetch. You get the ID, if it has a title, there's a file name, the file size. Whoa, that's file size, URL, link. It does have an alt attribute. What's all this? Mom type, it's a WebP. Icon, width, height. Icon? What? Okay. I'm not sure. Come on, man. Go all the way down. Yeah, and you get all these sizes too. So, and you can, as far as I know, you can use that. So let's look at our elements and go to our single template. I think all this is available in the list template too. So now let's switch it back to show us a specific post type so we can see stuff. I'm just going to put the image above it. So let's do image. Is that? There it is. Okay, it's the blue one. Okay, so instead of uploading media, anything like that, we're going to go over here to the little database icon. This is native to GenerateBlocks, and we're going to use, again, our loop item. Now we're going to get the image. Okay. Now I'm going to put my thinking cap on. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Is it going to give us the image, or do we have to? Okay. Well, let's save and see what we get. Because I think we still have to get into the array to show, because we want URL and the size. Yeah, so it's not going to show anything. So let's go back here. Okay, so image, that is right. Okay, so now, because it is an array, we can now use, let's get back down here. We can use dot notation to get any of these things. So for example, let's say I want it to show the ID. So right after key colon attribute image, right? These are dynamic tags. So if I go over, come on, let's see, tag. Oh, there they are. Duh. Okay, so if we're looking at not loop index, loop item. Oh, actually, okay, so they don't give you any examples, but it does work. And I've done this in other videos, but I say that famous last words. So the key is a built-in thing. So it's, this is a loop item. And that's the first thing we're telling it. And then it's going to ask, like, well, what do you want out of the loop item? We're saying, so as you go through this loop, we're looking for the key that is named attribute underscore RTTR ATTR underscore IMG, attribute image. We're looking for that meta value, but we're going to add a dot because we can use what's called dot notation to access things within this array. And we're just going to try ID first, and we can do either one of these. Let's do the ID. It's not going to give me anything, but let's see. Gosh, I really could be shooting myself in the foot here. And because I give it the ID, it gives me the image. That's not what I expected. Okay, well, let's try something else. So, I can do it up here. Okay, so let's go fetch the alt, because I think I put in an alt attribute for all of them. Yeah. Let's save. Did I save? Did it not? And this really ought to be in the docs somewhere. Let's see. Is it? I think they may mention it somewhere. Because why would they? That's so cool, the way it works. And I don't even remember how I discovered it. Maybe is it post meta? Sorry, I really will try not to waste a bunch of time on this. Uh, output a nested custom field value of the item field within my custom field group array. Yeah, so it can, yeah. So it's looking for, here's an example where it's looking for the key. So it's, okay, so we're saying go fetch this post meta with a key name of my custom field group. And then when you get that, it should return an array. So we're going to use dot notation. Go grab the item. Oh man, what do you call that? So an array, it's a key and value. So go get the key of whatever. So what did I do? I did I did Alt, I think, and I think I saved it while I was running my mouth. It's not working. Wait a minute. Oh, you know why? Because it's a freaking image block. That's why. So it did try to output it. So there you can see it, ghost trap. So that is the alt. So that's, I did not know that if you give it the if you give it an ID, it'll return the image for you. That's pretty wild. Okay, so but you can do sizes. So let's, I'm trying to remember how. So let's do URL. And so this is a loop item. So I think, I don't feel like, wait, are the, oh, they're in here. Okay. So sizes, medium, large, medium. Let's just do mediums. Okay. So again, I hope this works. So we're going to do dot notation again. And since we're in the image item, we're going to go fetch sizes. So we're going to go dot sizes dot medium. And it already works. It gives you a preview. Okay. Because that is returning, those sizes are also returning a URL to give you that particular size. So now if I refresh, I should get an image above each one of these. Yep. And I didn't know, okay, so another way you could do it, if we, just for giggles, since we're on the image, let's go back to the ID I did. I did capital ID. I wonder if I just did little ID. Okay, no size is available, so it's not letting me pick a size. So if I do the, oh, wrong button, dummy. So if I do that, okay, it's updated. I think it's going to give us the full size image. But let's see how it gives it to us. It does. So it gives you all of the responsive sizing. Whereas if we switch it back to what I did before, I don't know, this is a lot of switching. Medium. I think. So right now it gives us this great big, we get all these source sets and things like that. So we get these responsive sizes. So now if I use the actual specific size, I think, yeah, it's just going to give us that specific size and an empty alt attribute. So we could fill it in. We can steal this and put it in the alt text and use that same dot notation to to fill in the alt. So loop item, key, attribute image, alt. So now we can save that. And it should, yeah, so now the alt is filled with PKE meter. And you can take that even further and do, I think you can do data attributes. Yeah. So which is adding them down here as data attributes anyway. Okay. Let's say you're doing some fancy JavaScript and you need to put in maybe the ID of the image. So you can say data image ID, and we're going to paste in that loop item and get rid of that and just type in ID. I think that will put another attribute on there, unless it's going to get funky and oh no, it worked. Okay, so data image ID 597. Let's see, data image ID 599. Yeah, so you get any of those values that are within this returned array. Here's even the post that it's updated to. We can drop in the mom type. So if we need to know what type of image it is, data image type. Oh wait, to be consistent, or was that? Yeah. Whoa, that is not right. Type. Oh my gosh, what I do? What I do? Undo. Undo. Oh, good grief. Sorry, I hit a keyboard shortcut. It did something that it did not like. It deleted my other one. Oh, good gracious. I know this is probably a lot of extraneous stuff that nobody cares about. Dadgummit, I gotta just make a point. Image type. Okay, then we're just gonna type it out. Loop item key colon attribute underscore image. And what did I call it? Mom type. Okay, so that dot attribute. Let's go back here, go to the end of it, image dot mom type, and close it with the double brackets and make sure that's added. Display condition. I've got to play with that. Yeah. So now we've got images working. If we inspect this now, yeah, now we have image WebP. So yeah, it's pretty freaking cool that the GenerateBlocks, those dynamic tags, can give you access to all this stuff, depending on what is returned by the advanced custom fields. And let's look at real quick. And I've done this in another video, I know, but the point was to try to check some of this stuff out. And I'll be honest, I was hoping I could do taxonomies and things like that. That will probably have to be a different video because I haven't quite wrapped my head around it, to just to be real honest. I know we have some. Where's taxonomy? I know it's here. No. Oh, term list. Yeah. So previous post URL. I was looking for that. Okay, we might have to implement that too. So there's a next post URL and a previous post. Okay. So back to what I was thinking. Okay, term meta. Outputs the value stored in a taxonomy term meta field. Term list. Outputs a list of terms of the chosen taxonomy from the post source. like, okay, so if we, okay, I got it. So one of the issues I think that people run into, and I'm going off on a little tangent here, is so say you have a directory of sorts, and all of those directory items are have taxonomies or categories associated with them, and you would like to, and I've done this before, but I've had hand code it. You would like to loop through all those taxonomies, and then, like, as you hit each one, then output all of the posts associated with that taxonomy. So say you have well, let's just say like apparel, so like shirts, pants, and shoes. So those are taxonomies. Within each one of those taxonomies, you have a post type of clothing or apparel. Let's call it apparel, and you want to output those taxonomies. So you want to output shirts first. So you output the taxonomy name of shirts, and then beneath shirts, you want to output all of your apparel that have been categorized as shirts. Then you hit the pants taxonomy item, and you want to output all of your pants uh, under the pants heading. So you get the idea. You'd think that would be a relatively easy thing to tackle, but it's unfortunately it's not without a little hand coding. But I'm wondering if there is a way around that, and I'm going to let that kind of bubble and brew for a little bit before I try to tackle that. So we're going to hit a gallery real quick. See, a gallery or a relationship, because we're getting close to an hour, and do I leave it here and then we tackle them one by one? Maybe we tackle them one by one. So maybe I need to leave it here. This will be like video 3 where we focus on the repeater field, because we've hit the repeater field pretty freaking hard. I think I will do that. And I'm going to think on taxonomies, because I think I would like to build that into this somehow. That's something I do frequently, and like I said, I have to hand code it. So yeah, we'll end it there. I need to get back to work anyway. Sorry, guys. I hope that was helpful and enlightening. I'll try to post this little snippet too that gives you this information so you know what you're trying to get. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Feel free to comment. Let me know of other things that you're working on and that you're trying to figure out, or maybe just curious about. And who knows, maybe I've dealt with it before. If not, I may be able to look into it and see what we can figure out together. But you guys take care. Have a great week. And hopefully I'll have a video to post Friday, and we will look at either a gallery again, adding something to this. And again, we'll deep dive and take a really close look at it, looking at the database and all that, and relationships as well. And I've hit all these separately, and you can look at, I need to post links to those videos under this too. So we kind of handled it with these. These are using the, so yeah, these are relationships, and this is the gallery, and this is all handled with GeneratePress and GenerateBlocks and advanced custom fields. But anyway, we'll come back to our ghost gear, and we'll flesh these out a little bit more, and we'll go from there. I appreciate it. You guys take care.